Let's decide who's going to make the Super Bowl. All right.
Oh boy.
This right here. So I mentioned this a little bit when we were doing our predictions for each division a while ago. I said this team has arguably the best roster in football. But they just, for whatever reason, when the bright lights are upon them, they seem to not meet expectations. But I believe this year is different. I know, call me a fool all you want, call me delusional all you want. But looking at the talent, looking at the roster, looking at the QB that's under the helm, I got to go with the Ravens. I know it. Every year we think this is going to be the Ravens' year. Call me a fool. Call me dumb. Call me delusional all you want to. But looking at that roster, looking at everything they've done in the offseason to the NFL draft, to free agency, they got Mike Green, they got Malachi Starks, they got all these dudes that fit right into that scheme, right into the Ravens culture. I gotta go.
Mike Green.
Well, considering they did have Ray Lewis for all them years, but regardless of what he did, he is talented, and they did get a Georgia boy. They did get Malachi Starks, who was the best safety coming out of that draft, and he's going to work well with being paired with Kyle Hamilton. I gotta go with the Ravens this year. Derrick Henry. They brought in DeAndre Hopkins. They just got a lot, man. I will be shocked if they don't make the Super Bowl again. I know it's the Chiefs, but the Chiefs, they've lost some pieces over the years. Patrick Mahomes hasn't looked the same, and now Rashid Rice is going to be suspended for 6 games. Give me the Ravens in the AFC. Now, for my NFC pick.
Okay.
It's very rare that a team goes back to the Super Bowl again, unless you just have a special quarterback, you have a special team with a special roster, and they remain healthy for the entirety of the season. I'm not going to be that dude that picks the Eagles to repeat and go back to the Super Bowl. I'm going to go with the team that we initially thought was going to go to the Super Bowl, and that is the Detroit Lions. Now, I understand it. They lost both coordinators. They lost Ben Johnson. They lost Aaron Glenn. These are 2 guys that really have done a lot for that organization. They brought a lot to the table. They improved both sides of the ball. Ben Johnson, the offense. Aaron Glenn, the defense. But I do think that with what I'm hearing, specifically the offensive side, because the guy that they have as the offensive coordinator was in the system already. He was in-house. He helped Ben Johnson design that offense, the scheme, everything like that. I think he may have been the passing game coordinator for the offense for the Detroit Lions, and now he's the OC. I just think that they'll be fine enough with the talent that they already have that it will be a smooth adjustment period for them. I don't think they're going to struggle much. I still think the Detroit Lions have enough pieces. They still have Dan Campbell as the head coach. I believe that Jared Goff is actually a really good QB. I don't think he's just a scheme merchant. Oh, Sean McVay was helping him out here. Ben Johnson was helping him out there. I just really think Jared Goff is a damn good quarterback, and he's improved significantly since he left the Rams. And they still have Jameson Williams, who has improved a lot, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, and I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be even better than what we saw from him a year ago. The offensive line, I believe it's the center and the right guard, maybe a little questionable. But you could say the same thing with the Eagles. Lane Dickerson got hurt not too long ago. Now he will start. I believe he's projected that he's going to start week 1, but he had to get a procedure done on his knee. So is he going to be 100% throughout the season? I don't think so. So he's going to be limited. And then you have two other offensive linemen, the center and I believe the right guard, that aren't all that great for the Eagles. So you have to look at that. I just think the Detroit Lions, when they're healthy offensively and defensively, since they're getting all their guys back, I believe they're a team to beat, and I believe we're going to have a Ravens and we're going to have a Detroit Lions Super Bowl. What about you? What is your prediction?
Oh man, I think you might have stole my picks. Out of the AFC, I got to go with the Ravens, man. Just from the roster standpoint, top to bottom, they are probably them and the Eagles are like neck and neck for best roster in the league. They got similar talent at running back with Derrick Henry and Saquon. You could put whoever you want to above. It really doesn't matter. They had somewhat similar production. Wide receiver core obviously going in favor of the Eagles, but everywhere else you can argue on either side, no man. So I'm gonna go. I think the Ravens just have the best roster. In my opinion, they have the second best QB in the entire NFL. Should have won the MVP last year, but hey, I'm not a voter. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm going Ravens, man. I think this is finally. We said this like the past 2 years in a row. It's finally seems like it's in play for them to make a deeper run and actually finally break through and get to the Super Bowl and we'll get to see the Ravens back at the Super Bowl. On the NFC side, it's a little bit trickier because yeah, it's easy to say the Lions because well,
Yeah.
they had the 1 seed last year. Injuries decimated the roster, and then coaches were on the verge of leaving, so you know how that could have came into play. Yada yada yada. So I'm still gonna go with Detroit. I'm gonna go with Detroit because I like their roster. Guys are coming back. They're going to get healthy. Their roster's still really good. They still got the same. The system should be relatively similar, although Ben Johnson, their former play caller, did leave. But like you said, those coaches were in house, so they were learning from under. They were like understudies in a sense. Now they're ready to
Mm-hmm.
implement what their twist on the offense that they was coach and scheme and learned under. So yeah, I don't think it should. I don't really see any regression coming for Detroit, honestly, unless Jared Goff just stinks all of a sudden. But Dan Campbell still established that winning culture, that toughness culture with them guys. So yeah, I think Lions come out the NFC as well. And I do think at least the Ravens will probably end up the 1 seed in the AFC.
Mm.
And Detroit will probably be no worse than the 2 seed or 3 seed, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
that's,
and if
that's
you
we on the same page with that one.
and anybody that says, "Oh, you're wrong. It's Buffalo. It's the Bills. Josh Allen has Lamar Jackson's number." I
The
don't
Bills
give a
had their
damn.
chance last year.
I don't give a damn. This is my
Jo-
pick. This is
Josh
my
Allen had a
prediction.
chance to beat the Chiefs last year, and he didn't do it.
Whatever. But this is my predictions. I'm gonna go with the Lions, Ravens. End of story.